Jacob Zuma, Viva!
Viva!
Viva President Jacob Zuma, Viva!
Viva!
Viva President Jacob Zuma, Viva!
Viva!
Three, two. No, thank you very much, Deputy Secretary General. We are also joined by a member of the National High Command, Commander Luther Libelo, the Wafundisi Abela Pepe Dawoko, and all of us who came here, Makosi, who have joined us. When we last met here, there was a very good progress that was made in terms of merging the three organizations in our understanding that existed before, which were the South African Interfaith Religious Council, the MK Religious Desk, and the MK Faith-Based Organizations. And then we agreed, all of us who were here, that we are going to form an organization called Umkhonto Wesizwe Interreligious Movement, the MKIRM, as one organization. And in that meeting, there was a constitution which was presented, and we had made input on behalf of the leadership of Umkhonto Wesizwe as to the nature and character of the MKIRM, so that we know what we're dealing with. So we want to give feedback that since the last meeting, we went to the national officials of Umkhonto Wesizwe to say that this is the progress that has been made thus far. And the request that we were given was, where is the constitution of the MKIRM? That is the question that we were requested to provide. Then we could not present a complete constitution of the MKIRM because it was not concluded. We then communicated with the leadership that was identified to convene this process, that we necessarily have to meet again to go through the constitution of MKIRM page by page, section by section. And all of us agree, because what was presented was not complete in terms of how the entire organization is going to find expression. So we have to go page by page, section by section of the constitution of MKIRM, and then once we have agreed on that, in terms of what the constitution says, we will then take that to present a full report to the leadership, which will then guide us to what is to be done moving forward. We also had to engage in this process because in the intervening period, there were many sections of us who wrote letters to our office, but also to the president about this process. So we had said that if there are issues that have to be raised about the interfaith movement, about traditional healers, about the religious leaders who are in Umkhonto Wesizwe, let us discuss all those issues internally. Let us not go through corners to different officials without having discussed here, all of us. If there are issues that we want to raise, we should raise those issues here. So we came here to then get to listen to the constitution, not the final constitution, or the almost final constitution of Umkhonto Wesizwe. We go section by section, and then we're going to ask this meeting to adopt that constitution, to say that all of us who are here will agree on the contents of the constitution. Because what some of the comrades and the commanders and the members of the interfaith community went to say to the president in particular was that they are being imposed leadership, they are being imposed the constitution. And we had said that as far as we're concerned, there's no such a thing. We perhaps need to reconvene these meetings so that we have got common perspective as to what we want to achieve. So that when we go back, we can say that this is a common view, this is a common perspective as to how do we constitute the interfaith religious movement. So we're basically here, we do not have any imposed position from anyone. We have never, as the leadership of Mkondo Isizwe, imposed anyone on any structure. We have never had any private meeting with any of you. Nowhere. There's no one who has ever had a private engagement, even when there was requests for one-to-one meetings. None of us who is here today or is associated with the MKRM or any interreligious movement, none of you has met myself or the DSG or the national organizer. No one. And no one has had a full conversation from amongst all of you about leadership issues of the MKRM. We have never done that. What we have picked up though is that there are issues that are raised in terms of the founding documents of this organization. That is why we say that let us openly present the documents again, and then we go page by page and we all say this is what we want to associate with. And then thereafter we're going to then talk as to what will be the way forward on the identification of leadership. If there are issues that will be brought to our attention, we will be able to deal with that. The national organizer has joined us here, Commander John Vera, and the convener of Gauteng has joined us as well. So we're going to go through that process. We're going to call the task team that was given the task of identifying leadership to come and present the Constitution. We take the notes, we go section by section, we adopt the Constitution, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you very much, DSG.